Hello and welcome to the Geek Primer. In this module, we answer a request from a viewer. Hannah has asked for a module on Buffy, but does not want us to talk about the comics, as she has yet to start reading Season 10 and is nervous of spoilers. Well, Hannah, listen to the following conversation.
How come you guys have never told me about Buffy the Vampire Slayer? A friend of mine just showed it to me. It was fabulous. What'd you see? What'd you see?
Just the first episode.
Oh, great. I'll line up the box sets for you to binge watch tonight.
You mean they didn't show you the movie?
There's a movie.
Who is this so-called friend? What are their so-called geek credentials? Of course there's a movie.
Yeah, the movie's not essential.
Are you delusional? The movie is vital.
But Josh says it's not canon.
What does he know?
But he said that the comic origin is the canon version.
Are you going to listen to me or the creator of the character?
You?
Good. The fans are always right.
So you guys have known about this show and never shown it to me.
That's because Buffy is totally last century.
Well, except for the last 3 seasons. And the comics.
I've got to admit, I am a bit of a fan of vampires.
Who isn't?
What sort of vampires?
The bite you in the neck, drink your blood type?
You mean like Dracula?
Yeah.
Wrong.
Yeah, vampires are more than bitey, drinky. Catcha.
They're noble and tortured and romantic and totally dreamy. What?
Nothing.
In the next few minutes, you'll learn not only how to understand the conversation, but how to participate in it. The conversation is about Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
How come you guys have never told me about Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Running from 1997 to 2003, Buffy the Vampire Slayer was a TV series created by Joss Whedon. This was before he was Avengers Joss Whedon or Firefly Joss Whedon, but after he was Alien Resurrection Joss Whedon. The series told the story of Buffy Summers, the latest in a line of young women who are chosen to battle against vampires, demons, and other forces of darkness as slayers. Beats looking for dates on a Saturday night. The first Slayer was created thousands of years ago in ancient Africa by the Shadow Men, who used magic to infuse a captive girl with the heart, soul, and spirit of a demon known as the Shadow Demon. The average lifespan of a Slayer is usually short, so the Shadow Men's spell created a large number of potential Slayers. When a Slayer dies, one of the potentials gains the power and abilities of the Slayer. The Slayers are guided, taught, and trained by a Watcher. Descendants of the Shadow Men, Watchers are devoted to tracking and combating malevolent entities, locating and training Slayers, and adjusting their glasses. Buffy is also aided by a group of loyal friends who become known as the Scooby Gang, named after a lyric in the Sly and the Family Stone song, Everyday People.
I am everyday people. Yeah, yeah.
There is a blue one who can't accept the green one, for living with the fat one, trying to be a skinny one, in different strokes for different folks, and so on and Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Well, it can't have any other meaning, can it? Now listen again.
You mean they didn't show you the movie?
There's a movie.
Are you beginning to understand the conversation? Buffy first appeared in the 1992 movie Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Created to invert the Hollywood horror movie formula of the little blonde girl who goes into a dark alley and gets killed, the movie starred Kristy Swanson as Buffy. Whilst the film did moderately well, it was not what writer Joss Whedon had intended. So when he had the opportunity to revisit the premise as a TV series, he leapt at it. The series was a sequel to the original script to the movie, so made references to many events that did not occur in the film. Other differences included the movie Buffy being a high school senior, but TV Buffy being a sophomore. Movie Buffy's parents being wealthy and negligent socialites, and TV Buffy only having a caring single mother. Movie Buffy vampires dying like humans, and TV Buffy vampires dying by turning to dust. But who noticed? Everyone. In 1999, Dark Horse Comics released a graphic novel adaptation of Whedon's original script titled The Origin, where they attempted to meld the movie script and the series closer together. Whilst Joss Whedon has admitted he has issues with the comic, he considers it to be the canonical version of Buffy's origin. There's just no pleasing this guy. Let's continue.
That's because Buffy is totally last century.
Well, except for the last 3 seasons. And the comics.
Comics. Comics are just one type of merchandise available for a television series, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer was a major source of merchandising, or, in technical terms, a cash cow. The first piece of merchandise was the novelization of the movie. But when the TV series began, the floodgates opened, with calendars, trading cards, statues, t-shirts, magazines, candy, posters, glasses, jewelry, standees, videos, action figures, soundtracks, light switches, play sets, collector plates, guides, yearbooks, DVDs, board games, console games, large figures, bedding, busts, plaques, props, watches, and photos. The series and its spin-off Angel spawned 11 novelizations and 70 original novels or short story collections. And of course, comics. The comics began in 1998 and included 63 issues of an ongoing series, 7 miniseries, 13 specials, and 7 spin-off series, including characters such as Angel, Spike, Willow, Faith, and Frey. When the TV series finished in 2003 after 7 seasons, that wasn't good enough for the comics. So, in 2007, the adventures of Buffy continued exclusively in the comics with Season 8, and has been followed by Season 9 and Season 10. Other comics that have continued after a cancelled TV series include not only Buffy and Angel, but Firefly and Dollhouse. But not all comic continuations are based on Joss Whedon's series. Battlestar Galactica, Jericho, The X-Files, Farscape, Smallville, Charmed, Doctor Who, Kolchak the Night Stalker, and Xena the Warrior Princess all continued in comics. But not surprisingly, one of the longest-running continuation comics is Star Trek, with DC's 1989 Star Trek The Next Generation comic outliving the TV series by 2 years, and Gold Key's Star Trek comic running a decade after the cancellation of the original series. And let's not forget that most important of comic continuations, Alf, which ran for 2 years after the end of the TV series. See, Hannah, I can talk about the comics without revealing spoilers. Although, watch out for the story where they start.
I've got to admit, I am a bit of a fan of vampires.
Who isn't? What sort of vampires?
Vampires are a fixture in popular culture, being used in novels, movies, comics, video games, and even paintings. On television, vampires have been central to such series as Dark Shadows, Kolchak the Night Stalker, Forever Night, Angel, Blade the series, Being Human, Ultraviolet, True Blood, The Vampire Diaries, and The Strain. But of course, there is one pop culture vampire that is more popular than any other. Now that you've heard the meaning behind many of the words and phrases used in the conversation, are you ready to contribute? Don't worry if you're not. To help out, try using this contributing phrase.
Oh, Angel.
I think we should leave him alone for a while.
Yeah, I think I'll be back with a mop.
Every single night, the same arrangement. I go out.
Good luck, and be sure to check back again for more conversations in the Geek Primer. If you're like Hannah and have a geek topic you'd like to be primed on, enter it into the comments. And please, feel free to subscribe. Goodbye.
Walking through the park, nothing seems to penetrate my heart. I was always brave and kind of righteous. Now I find I'm wavering. Crawl out of your grave, you find this fight just doesn't mean a thing.
She ain't got that swing.
Thanks for noticing.
She's pretty well with fiends from hell, but lately we can tell that she's just going through the motions, faking it somehow. She's not even half the girl she